Next, under the lights. District championship games heat up throughout the state.
Number one.
A goal line stand for the ages.
Wasn't how we drew it up. I don't think either team drew it up like this, but man, it makes South Florida football a lot of fun.
Vero Beach sets another milestone.
I'm probably most proud of our football culture and how hard our kids work.
We catch up to the rooster, Jaylan Knighton in Deerfield Beach.
You got 11 people coming after you. Just make a miss.
Recruiting wars in Florida. We've got some insight for you. And Josh Wilson joins us to set up what the playoffs will look like.
Oh my God!
We said we're not holding back nothing. And this game meant everything to me, everything to Jacquez. Because when we played Northeast, I told him I was going to win the district championship for him.
Top performances.
Yeah, baby, I told you, they can't play with us.
And more. All under the lights.
Let's go, showtime, baby. District championship, let's go.
One shot is do or die, and the odds ain't looking too pretty. But I got the feeling it's my time. I know I'm taking it now.
Hello there, it is great to see you again. I'm Dave Aizer.
I'm Kailey Mizelle. This is Under the Lights, Florida High School Football Final, driven by Honda.
We are a little over a week away from playoff time, and some teams are making some moves.
Some moving up and some moving out. We say bye to 2 of our top 10 teams, but first, let's get to the number 1 team in this state. Lakeland to Tampa, where the Dreadnoughts are facing the Red Devils. Trouble for Lakeland early as they slip and slide in the backfield. DeMarcus Bowman doesn't get the handoff, and the Red Devils land on the rock and get the score. Now Lakeland, it's their turn, and DeMarcus Bowman makes his moves as the Dreadnoughts win 51-6. And it's to the final Lakeland score that we take our Advent Health Defensive Play of the Week. Kendall Davis, a former Kathleen player, by the way, steps in front of the screen, goes 55 yards for the score. That's our Advent Health Defensive Play of the Week.
Down to Fort Lauderdale, where St. Thomas looked to stay unbeaten by handing the Fort Lauderdale Flying L's an L, and it didn't take long. First play from scrimmage, Khalid Sakir takes the inside handoff and races 70 yards all the way to the end zone. St. Thomas racked up 193 yards on the ground in the first half. They win 42-0 and improve to 8-0.
Staying in South Florida, number 24 Chaminade Madonna looks to bounce back after their 21-0 loss to Vero Beach. Taking on Miami Central, Contreras Marsh skirts into the end zone, and now Chaminade's turn. Thaddeus Franklin shows skill and patience waiting for the hole, rewarded with the end zone. Franklin was the backbone of the Lions. He had 187 yards, 2 touchdowns. The Lions roar with revenge, taking down number 5, 27-7. Now to Tallahassee, where number 8 Palmetto, who are number 1 in the RPI, by the way, taking on Lincoln. Trojans up 3 and adding quarterback Chris Beer throws in the rain. Dominic Larry is there to catch it. Lincoln keeps the pressure on. This time Beer takes it behind his monster line, and the Trojans down Palmetto 42-23.
As we watch these South Florida stars, let's celebrate another big-time athlete who plays his football down south. It is Deerfield Beach running back Jaylan Knighton, one of the best players to ever play for the Bucks. He's got talent, family pedigree, and a cool nickname. And he's our 5-star Friday feature. In the 50 years of Deerfield Beach football, it has never won a state championship. There has been big-time talent that put on the scarlet and gold. The most recent big name is potential first-round draft pick Jerry Jeudy.
You know, we've been on the cutting edge of being elite and becoming one of those national powers, and now we're starting to get the results and the things that happen at elite program as far as, you know, guys getting drafted and guys getting multiple college opportunities. And it's a great time here at Deerfield Beach.
For the past 3 years, the tailback at Deerfield Beach has been Jaylan Knighton.
Yeah, one of the hardest working kids I've ever had. But he came in, put the work in, and he's just an unbelievable talent. And his work that he put with his talent is what makes him elite.
Jaylan has been starting for the Bucks since he was a sophomore. With a blend of speed and power, Jaylan isn't one who is shy of contact.
He can beat you or attack you in a variety of ways. I mean, he can get around you, give you a move and run away from you. If you're preparing to get in the chase, he can run you over, run through you. I mean, he's just he's got the mentality, that the great ones have by any means necessary.
To say football is in Jaylan's blood is an understatement. His father played running back for Louisville and the Washington Redskins, but it was playing against his older brothers that helped create the back that he is.
Playing with the older are stronger, this and that, so it just made you want to get the strength that they got, so it just made you work harder.
Jaylan knew he wanted to play running back ever since he was in Pee Wee football. The first time he touched the ball, he housed it. It's also where he earned his nickname, the Rooster.
Yeah, he's got red hair. So, growing up, it was really, really red.
With being a running back, you have to have great vision, peripheral vision, because you got 11 people coming after you and just make a miss. Well, as a running back, everybody should know, don't let one man bring you down. I think that's the best position on the field because you got everybody coming after you.
At Deerfield Beach, Javon Glenn isn't afraid to play a kid when he's young.
We don't have a waiting period here. Now, if you're a dude, and I don't care if it's a baby in a car seat, if you put the car seat down and the baby gets to wiggling, I'm starting the baby.
Jaylan committed to Florida State earlier this fall, earning comparisons to its most famous running back, Dalvin Cook. For number 4, the number he loves to watch is number 28, who coincidentally plays for the Washington Redskins.
Adrian Peterson. His running style matches. Power, speed, can catch, can do everything.
As the playoffs approach, there's only one goal in mind for the Rooster.
Every day we say state champs. We got to get it. That's on our mind, and that's what we're chasing right now.
I love watching Jaylan run because he can beat you in so many ways, including, as we saw, jumping over you.
Well, and you guys are going to be jumping for joy. When you visit utlflorida.com, you can catch the latest replays and highlights of your favorite team and player.
Coming up, Vero Beach goes for state record 61 straight regular season victories. And we've got some recruiting news next on Under the Lights. Under the Lights is driven by Honda. Visit your local Honda dealer today. By Advent Health. Our goal is to help you feel whole. And by the Florida Lottery. It's your ticket. Claim it.
Well, we've already shown you the games from the best teams in the state, and we have plenty more to come.
Including Booker T. Washington. They started off as number 10 in our rankings, but they're looking to move up against Edison. And the teams are very cordial in the beginning. They're meeting at midfield, but once the game starts, the action begins. And you see this little screen pass, and this dude is taking it to the house. You got to give it up for Larion Moss, who looks more like Santana Moss. 70 yards for the touchdown and a 7-0 lead. Booker T keeps the momentum going. They cruise to a 28-6 win.
Number 15, Lakewood facing off with Largo in the Tampa area. Lakewood defending their perfect season. Greg Deuce Spant finds TJ Tampa in the air. Tampa with an athletic catch. He fights off the defender as the Spartans stay undefeated, 35-3. Number 16, Bartram Trail in Jacksonville visiting Sandalwood. A.J. Jones to the end zone. He had a knockout performance. 166 yards, 17 carries, 5 touchdowns, and it's easy to see why Bartram Trail runs away with it, 49-21.
Vero Beach looking to set a Florida high school record with its 61st straight regular season win, taking on Fort Pierce Central. First quarter, Ryan Jankowski to Jermaine Dawson, touchdown, Vero. Third quarter, Jankowski this time to Keith Woolard, and he is gone. Vero wins 28-3 and sets the record. And here is their head coach and the quarterback's father, Lenny Jankowski.
I'm probably most proud of our football culture and how hard our kids work and just being unselfish and doing the things that coaches preach.
Check out the South Dade Buccaneers with some very interesting smack talk, calling the Palmetto Panthers kiddies. Let's see if that strategy worked. Late first half, Kevin Smith rolls right, throws left, and he's picked off by Jalen Wilson. He's going 80 yards, and that pick 6 gave South Dade a 27-19 lead. Let's take it to the fourth quarter, closing seconds. Palmetto down 3. Smith finds Bob Golden for the TD, and the Panthers grab a 46-42 lead. Last chance for South Dade. Kelvin Durham trying to pull off a miracle. He's brought down, and Palmetto wins. They clinch the District 16 8A title in a great game. Our Vico comeback player of the night is the aforementioned Kevin Smith. He led Miami Palmetto back from 16 points down with a gutsy effort. Smith had 257 yards and 5 touchdowns and also ran for another one. and the big score of the night was the last one. As we just showed you, and we'll show you again, he connects with Bob Golden to give Palmetto the 46-42 lead. Congrats, Kevin. You are our Vico Comeback Player of the Night. To the Orlando region, where the Apopka Blue Darters were also chasing a district title. They came out throwing darts. Jaquan Lohman hits Jaden Harrington in the back of the end zone for the score. Take a bow, Mr. Harrington. You earned it. And while you're at it, why don't you keep on celebrating? And how about Curtis Spivey? He's a defensive end, an outside linebacker, and apparently a pretty good running back, Kailey. The guy does everything. Apopka clinches the Class 8A District 4 title with the win. And how about some more love to Apopka QB Jaquan Lohman? He rushed for 126 yards and 2 TDs and added 2 more touchdowns through the air. That makes him the Orlando Health Offensive Player of the Week. All right, that was a lot, but just like that offense, we still got a whole lot more fuel in the tank. We're ready to go.
We are so ready to go, and we want you to join in on the conversation. To do that, use hashtag UTLFlorida on Twitter.
Still to come, Josh Wilson breaks down the top 25.
I love y'all, boys.
And more district title games to come. Under the Lights is driven by Honda. Visit your local Honda dealer today. By Vico Painting Contractors, a commercial painting company that delivers top quality work and excellent customer satisfaction. And by Orlando Health, a not-for-profit network of leading community hospitals.
Time to check out our weekly top 10, and we welcome 2 new teams to the party. Jones moves from 12 to 10, and Escambia rises from 11 to 9.
And in the top 5, one major change, Miami Central out, Armwood rounding out the top 5 at number 5.
All right, let's bring in the man responsible for all the rankings, the founder of FloridaHSFootball.com, Josh Wilson.
Okay, Josh, getting straight into it, we've heard you talk about RPI. We know Lakeland is number 1 in our rankings, but will RPI back that up, or could we see a team like them fall to maybe not the top seed in their region?
Yeah, it's very much possible. I mean, I'll give you a good example. Lakeland, who's sitting at number 1, and then you got Armwood, who's at number 5. And there is a potential chance because of Armwood's opponent, who they're playing this week, they could jump Lakeland and finish 9-1 and jump a 10-0 Lakeland. It's very much possible we could see that happen.
It's crazy because all year it's just been Lakeland, St. Thomas,
Back
and now who knows? Also, given that we've been talking about those 2 great squads, Josh, as we get close to the playoffs, give us some sleepers. Who should we be thinking about?
Think about these couple of teams right off the bat that I really think are going to make some noise in the playoffs. Bartram Trail, who could have a chance to finish 10-0 for the first time ever in a regular season in their 20-year history of the school, and Niceville sitting at 10-0. They're done with the regular season, and I mean they are looking good. Very much a much improved squad over compared to the last few seasons.
Okay, Josh, taking a look at that shakeup that happened this week, how much does Chaminade's win over Central help them or hurt them and Vero Beach?
Well, it's actually going to help Chaminade a lot, especially when it terms of trying to get that number 1 seed in their own region in Class 3A Region 4, and definitely will help Vero Beach, especially since Vero Beach is trying to lock up that number 1 seed in Region 3 in Class 8A. That was a great quality win for Chaminade. It's going to hurt Miami Central more when it comes to that particular seeding.
And the last question is about another great game from this past weekend, South Dade against Miami Palmetto. What did you see in that game that caused you to move those 2 teams around?
I mean, Miami Palmetto's just been playing great all year, but South Dade had been really playing great up until the last couple of weeks. And here, Miami Palmetto had come back from actually a kind of a significant deficit to actually beat South Dade. And, for Palmetto, that is definitely a great game and a great way to actually win the district and pretty much, I think, lock up the number 1 seed in Class 8A Region 4.
Thank you so much, as always, Josh. And for more to check out from Josh, visit FloridaHSFootball.com.
All right, we go to Coral Springs, where the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas Eagles were taking on the Coral Glades Jaguars. Late second quarter, Jaguar QB Kyle Williamson's pass picked off by Ryan Schroy, takes it in for the score. Douglas wins 52-15 to capture its first district title since 2001.
The 4-4 Manatee Hurricanes taking on 5-2 Venice Indians. Jace Burkowski hands off to Tyson Phelps for the score. Hurricanes made Venice hit the road. Jack Rabbit 30-13.
I see what you did there. Winter Park Wildcats against the Timber Creek Wolves in a matchup of slow motion walkers. Early fourth quarter, Wildcat QB Casey Case hits Braden Black from 10 yards out. Winter Park leads 21-20, but Wolves QB Jake Johnson finds Mookie El Mahmoud for the go-ahead score in the final minutes, and Timber Creek wins a big district matchup 35-28.
Coming up, the Player of the Week and recruiting buzz from throughout the state. Next, Under the Lights. The Florida Lottery Pick 4 Player of the Week is Ryan Overstreet from Venice High School. Ryan threw for 247 yards with 5 TDs and a 48-31 victory over Cocoa.
And here's a look at this week's Florida Lottery Pick 4 top performances. You see 3 quarterbacks and 1 running back. Remember, make sure you hit up our Twitter handle at Fox Sports FL with the hashtag UTLFlorida, and you can vote for this week's top performances. There are some schools in Florida who are perennial powerhouses, and we expect to see them in the playoffs every year.
And then there are other teams that need time to rebuild. That's the case for Dixie Hollins. When Dale Capresso was their coach 2 years ago, he knew that he would have to do something to get them out of their 2-decade playoff drought. In fact, the Rebels haven't won a winning season since 2005. They battled in St. Pete with Boca Ciega. The Pirates jump out to a 29 lead. Chris Phillips totes it the rock to the corner of the end zone. Down but not out. Rebels have one thing on their mind, the playoffs. Desjuan Davis gets the Rebels ahead. Dixie Hollins scores 3 touchdowns in the fourth. Comes down to the final play. Boca Ciega looking, goes up, and the Rebels snag the interception and the game 27-26. Hey, Coach, you just won your district.
Us to win the district title after all the misery that these kids have gone through from the last 25 years, you know, it means the world to our players, our coaches, our administration, and our faculty and students.
Tampa Bay Tech taking on Wiregrass. Quarterback David Wright comes up big for the Titans. He was 20 of 23 for 256 yards. Here, Wright hits Bobby Moore for one of his 3 touchdowns in Tech's 48-16 takedown of Wiregrass.
To Delray Beach we go, where the Atlantic Eagles hosted the Blanche Ely Tigers. Atlantic QB Gwenson Alexis goes 36 yards in the air to Javon Jackson, who makes a nice adjustment to haul in the TD. Atlantic can score and they can celebrate. Eagles win 34-16. Every week we feature some of the best players in Florida, and many of them are going to one of the big 3 schools, UM, UF, or FSU.
And with early signing day coming up in December, we turn to our recruiting correspondent, Eric Esteban, on the other side of the field, breaking down the recruiting battle.
Thanks, guys. Let's jump right into that recruiting roundup by starting in Gainesville with Dan Mullen's recruiting class. A lot of movement going on in Gainesville. Teams winning. Tell us about what's going on.
Well, first of all, you come back to the Miami area. Florida hasn't done extremely well in the past. Over the last 3-4 years, they've kind of opened up that pipeline. Isaiah Walker, one of the prize players, offensive lineman, a big type of kid. He's one of these new breed guys. He's not fat. He's very aggressive. Somebody who really will make a lot of waves in the SEC. Athletic kid. Somebody who everybody was at. Originally committed to South Carolina.
And he's going to do great on that O-line. Corey, what you got?
Florida's definitely the hot team in the state right now, the big 3. My guy, who was at the school I coached at briefly, a golf coach, he's Derek Wingo. Just a kid who flashes almost every play, very versatile. Played D-line, played linebacker, was former quarterback, a kid who I think will make an immediate impact at the next level.
He's going to anchor that Todd Grantham defense. Now let's go west to Tallahassee, Florida State University. What's the state of Willie Taggart's recruiting class?
Well, you take a look at what's going on there. You could judge it by what's on the win and loss column, and they want to be associated with a winner. But at the same time, you take a look at some of the kids that they have aboard, a lot of the recruits that they have. I think they keep a lot of them, but it's going to be kind of a tug and pull between now and early signing day.
Sure, Corey. There's some talent in that class. What's going on in Tally?
Oh, no doubt. You know, Willie Taggart's been known as a great recruiter, a guy who connects with the players very well. But it's only so much you can do when the product on the field isn't great. So they do have some great talent at the top there with Demorier Tate, Jaylan Knighton, some big names like that. So they definitely need to hold on to those guys and make sure they don't get poached from elsewhere. So
you mentioned Jaylan Knighton, kind of one of the top guys in that class, running back out of Deerfield Beach. Saw some footage of him at the St. Thomas Aquinas game. Just throwing up to you. Tell us a little bit about that. He's just having fun?
Yeah, I think it's mostly just having fun. You know, this guy Xavier Restrepo, but you know, he was at Hard Rock a couple weeks ago for the Virginia Tech game, so you know, he might have some wandering eyes right now. He might be looking around a little bit. That's something to keep an eye on.
It wouldn't be recruiting without wandering eyes. And on that note, we take it down to Coral Gables, Manny Diaz, and what's going on with the State of the U recruiting class. A lot of movement there, a lot of local talent that he's been able to kind of gather, but clearly some moving and shaking. Give us a rundown on Manny.
I think Manny's done a good job of recruiting kids who really want to be at Miami. You know, he's been a little more stricter with his rules on if you're committed, you know, stay committed, don't look around, don't go on visits elsewhere. So I think that will help.
Now, Larry, you've got your eye on the pulse on what's going on with these guys. Tell us a little bit about some of the guys in that class, and hey, they could use a kicker too, right?
Yeah, definitely. I think that they hold on to a lot of these kids because of the fact that they want to get in there and play, and they feel that maybe because there's a lot of younger players that aren't getting the job done right now, and there's not a lot of depth. Players like Rivers and Chance Williams from up in Oak Leaf High School, guys like that. You mentioned a kicker. They're 2 years away from Andres Borregales, who I think is one of the best kickers in the country right now at Chaminade Madonna. Miami has their hands full, and they just need to hang on to who they have right now.
One guy I want to bring up from my alma mater at Belen Jesuit is running back Don Chaney, obviously the jewel of the class, 5-star running back commitment. Blue, what's going on with Don?
Well, I think Don's still solid. This is a kid that's a big-time guy, a 3-time defending state high jump champion, 7 foot, athletic, has a burst. I'll tell you what, he's going to be part of this class, and he's going to be a jewel of this class.
There you have it, folks. It's only October, but we're already looking forward to that early signing period in December. Larry, Corey, thank you for joining us under the lights. Dave, I'm going to throw it back to you. I know you're with the U and you're watching.
I am so excited for Don Chaney Jr., Eric, but I got to tell you, as a Canes fan watching the team this year, I'm more excited for the kicker. I wish we didn't have to wait 2 years for that because we need some kicking love at UM.
I'll leave that to you and the U. I'm going to stick with Finley Graham in orange and blue. And from 1 stars to another, we're going to give out our helmet stickers. And Dave, I'm going A.J. Jones. He had a career high 5 touchdowns in Bartram Trail's win. Way to go, AJ.
Very nice. I'm giving my sticker to an entire team.
Okay.
And I am playing favorites. It's my alma mater, Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School, 8-0 on the season, and they just won their first district title since 2001. Go Eagles!
Well, there you go.
Fired up. And that is all the time for us. Thank you so much for watching our show.
Thanks so much for watching. This has been Under the Lights, Florida High School Football Finals, driven by Honda.